We've seen some amazing things, but that, my friends, is something we've never seen.
Brandon Cruz Month's Advice.
Brandon Cruz Month's Advice.
Brandon Month's Advice.
Brandon Cruz Month's Advice. You just locked yourself into the playoffs.
Nice.
Got it.
Talk with old Brandon Cruz Month's Advice.
Completely speechless, to say the least.
Man, I am honestly so baffled by that decision. Brandon Cruz Month's Advice. It's Brandon Month's Advice.
Green flag in the air. Brandon Cruz Month's Advice to the front.
How you guys doing, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls? This is the Brandon Cruz Daily Fantasy Podcast, and oh my gosh, we have an episode out early. I'm not making this at like 11 p.m. on a Saturday night. It's actually here in time for people to actually listen to it, check out the article, and all that type of stuff. So thank you guys so much for tuning in. I'm glad that I'm able to get this out so more people can hear it. But anyway, this is brought to you in association with Burnout Avenue, your motorsports headquarters. As always, ladies and gentlemen, go check out Josh and Zach's podcast, posted every Monday on Podbean and just burped right there, and iTunes. They go over and have a discussion every Monday following the Saturday, or following the Cup race, that is. Just following stories, things that you may have missed in the broadcast, or just things that you need to consider and all that. So please check them out. Also, tonight on Checkered Flag Interactive on that YouTube channel at 6 Eastern, live in 4 hours. Whenever I'm recording this, it's 1:30 in Lubbock right now. Live in 4 hours, the iRacing 2001 Talladega 500 Throwback Race will be broadcasted. I will be racing in it. As some of you may or may not know, I have been a sim racer for quite a few years now. I've been sponsored by quite a few companies. I've raced in quite a few leagues, won quite a few broadcasted races. So if you want to check that out, or if you're not familiar with iRacing, go check it out. Link will be in the description below. It's going to be a really badass race. All throwback paint schemes to a 2001 race, so all legit names and everything. So please, guys, check it out if you want some real racing tonight. And let's get into it. This is for the O'Reilly Auto Parts 500 article for Burnout Avenue. I don't believe it's posted at the moment, but it will be in the description of this video. And thank you guys so much for tuning in. I know I'm 2 minutes into this video, but I sponsored some people, or some things in the Talladega iRacing race, so some of you guys might be coming from that. So just thank you guys for showing up. Follow me on Twitter at BrandonCruzDFS. Follow me on YouTube at whatever this channel is right there. Just hit the subscribe button, and let's get into it. Sorry about all that. So let's talk about Texas. So this is a one-groove racetrack. I don't care if they have that traction compound on the outside. I still think it's going to be really boring. I'm not worried about practice one, since everyone was basically practicing for qualifying. Hendrick showed up and just ran through everyone. I mean, they are hauling fast this weekend, and Jimmie Johnson is by far the fastest car in both practices. So that is certainly interesting. The second practice got rained out this morning, so final practice is even more important and even more telling than normal weeks, because everyone was in race trim. Everyone had to get out and show what their car had in that one practice. So I actually really like these types of deals where it's just one practice. One thing that stands out to me is Parker Kligerman is actually a bit faster than normal. He's a fast punt this week. He's a fast back marker. It's really interesting. So I certainly like Parker Kligerman. He only ran in the first practice, but he didn't run any Q trim. I think he ran like 14 laps or something, and that is huge for like under-owned, not under-owned teams, like underfunded teams and all that type of stuff. So that's really nice. Final practice, looking at it, Jimmie Johnson is showing speed. I've said it before, and I've said it again. I'm not giving up on Jimmie Johnson. I've played him throughout last year, and I played him a couple times this year. Like he is not old, he's not worn out, he's not burned out, he's none of that stuff, guys. He's a 7-time champion, and he likes racing, he loves racing. He wouldn't be doing this if he didn't like it anymore. So do not give up on Jimmie Johnson this week. 42 is also showing fast times, but I think he was third quickest in 10-lap averages in practice 2, and that's either going to bring people to him just because they see, oh, he's good in 10-lap averages, or it's going to just level him out because he hasn't really been running that well this year so far. And he's a bit expensive, and he's starting near like Harvick, Boyer, guys in the back like that, Kurt Busch, that you have to fit those guys in order to get points, and I just feel like Larson is going to be kind of edged out of that. He won't be as popular as he should be or as he would be on a normal week. I also really like Brad Keselowski, Ryan Blaney, and Joey Logano. This weekend, I like Truex and not Kurt Busch. I like Kurt Busch as well, but I like Truex and Kyle Busch. Same with Harvick. But those are just like chalk guys. Everyone knows how it's going to be. I mean, Kurt Busch is chalk starting 30th. Boyer, Alex Bowman is chalk, even though Alex is starting in the rear because he wrecked his car. Kevin Harvick, Kyle Larson, Martin Truex Jr., and Kyle Busch. Those are the chalk guys. So here we go. Before I get into going through the field, looking at guys, we have two strategies that I'm looking at in Texas right now. So one, you pick guys in the back. You go for place differential points because you don't believe that Jimmie Johnson's going to be a dominator. You just think, well, I'm not going to chase who's going to lead the start of the race or the first stage or whatnot. You're going to go for people who are going to win the race that you believe are starting in the back, or people that are starting in the back that you think are going to lead a lot of laps. Or you can trust the 48 and build around Jimmie Johnson. I don't think a lot of people are going to do that, and I wasn't too keen on that to begin with, but after looking at the times, ladies and gentlemen, Jimmie Johnson he's pretty real. Fastest 10-lap averages, fastest in practice 1, and then he was fifth fastest in practice 2. Jimmie Johnson is showing some real speed. He's cheap. I just went blank on what he is. Let me look. Jimmie Johnson is only $8,000, and normally I wouldn't take someone like that who's starting up first, but Jimmie Johnson is showing some speed this week, so that is very, very interesting. I think I'm going to have a few lineups where I'm trusting the 48 to dominate the race, stay up front, and also, I know it's different circumstances and different drivers or anything, but Jimmie Johnson now has one more pole than Chad Knaus. I mean, Jimmie Johnson was able to get that car a bit higher. I like Chad Knaus. I like Jimmie Johnson. I like them both together. But Jimmie Johnson's a racer through and through. He's a 7-time champion. He didn't get through that just by pure luck or just by cheating. I mean, you need some talent to win 7 championships. So we have that. So anyway, let's go through the starting grid. Starting from the rear of the field, Timmy Hill, Garrett Smithley, Reed Sorensen, Bailey Curry, not interested in any of those guys. Chastain and Kligerman are the only guys I'm interested in. I'm not interested in BJ McLeod. So if you're going down there, Kligerman and Chastain are the only guys I'm trusting. Not going with Castle and LaJoie only because I don't think they can really gain any more positions. Kurt Busch is obviously chalk this week. Matt Tiff is a cheap play, but he's starting 29th. Don't think he's going to get any farther than that. And then I believe Reagan, Priest, and Benedetto are the only guys that can actually gain positions, and that you're going to see a lot of people end up picking like Boyer, Benedetto, Priest, and Reagan. Actually, from the starting position of 28th to 22nd is very interesting. I think that's where the vast majority of people are going to go, and that's where the vast majority of drivers that need to be owned are. So that's Reagan, Priest, Benedetto, Boyer, Alex, Bowman, Kevin Harvick, and Kyle Larson. I think that's where the vast majority of ownership is going to go. Due to that, Eric Almirola is going to be kind of like the odd man out, and I really like him for a low-owned guy, as I said in my article. And then Truex Jr. is kind of by himself because he's in the top 20. I think ownership's going to go to him. Chris Buescher is going to be a little bit under-owned. Same with Newman. The only thing with those guys, Chris Buescher, if he pulls what he did at Atlanta and actually race up in the front, he's going to be worth it. I don't know if he has the speed to do that, only because in long-run speeds and final practice, Chris Buescher was all the way at 23rd fastest, and he was then, where was he? And yeah, he was 25th fastest overall. So I don't know if Chris Buescher can actually do that like he did at Atlanta. I'd rather have Newman, just because I don't think any ownership's going to be on Newman, but I don't think Newman's going to do a whole lot either. Ricky Stenhouse is the other guy that I'm looking at because, as I just said with Newman, no ownership's going to be on Newman. I don't think anyone's going to be on Ricky Stenhouse Jr., and because of that, I like Stenhouse Jr. as a low-owned GPP play. This package fits his driving style. And he's been doing really well this year. I mean, he has a no he doesn't care what anyone thinks of him this year, so he's playing off that like crazy. Kyle Busch is going to be highly owned just because he's Kyle Busch. McDowell's going to have no ownership, and I'm not even going to play. I'm not that crazy. There's a difference between a punt play and to be different, and then there's a punt play to be stupid. And I think McDowell is just a stupid play. He's been doing terrible this whole year, literally wrecking every race. Not a fan of McDowell. Paul Menard. I think Paul Menard is where he's going to finish. He's starting 14th. I think he's going to end up 14th. And I don't got much more to say about that. I like Blaney and Keselowski. I think both those guys have top 5 cars. They're both showing that for at least long run speeds. I mean, Keselowski is 4th fastest in 10-lap averages, and Ryan Blaney is 5th fastest there. Eric Jones, I usually like Eric Jones because no one's on him, but he's starting 11th. I don't see him finishing any higher than 9th. I think if anything, he'll probably lose 2 positions where he finishes. And not too crazy on Eric Jones. Bubba Wallace and Dillon, I like both those guys as drivers, but they both overqualified, so they are not in any contention for GPP plays. And I think, honestly, we're damn close to seeing Ty Dillon or Bubba Wallace wreck and starting the race. Logano, I like Logano as well. I think if anyone is going to lead, like if everyone's going to pass Jimmie Johnson and start leading, I think our best chance of that is Logano. And that probably wouldn't happen until like lap 15 or something. I think Logano is going to drive through most of the people in front of him and get the lead. Denny Hamlin, not too crazy on him. I don't see a lot of upside. There's just better guys farther in the back of the there's other guys in the field that are just better plays. Dillon, not using Dillon. Suarez, God, man, just not there. There's other guys that you got to pay for. Suarez has little to no upside and all the risk there. Same with Elliott. Same with Byron. And like I said, Jimmie Johnson. I think a lot of people aren't going to trust Jimmie Johnson because a lot of people haven't trusted Jimmie Johnson for like 4 years now. I mean, ever since he hasn't dominated Dover, where everyone kept using him, Jimmie Johnson has never been trusted when he starts up front and when he's starting first. I think, oh my God, I think we can get Jimmie Johnson at like 28% ownership because people just don't think he's gonna lead the lap, and I think I'm going to go roll with Jimmie Johnson at least 3 lineups tomorrow. Maybe 2, at the very least 2, at the max probably 3. And I'm not sure how many lineups I'm going to do, maybe like 6 or 5 at this point. The Xfinity race is pretty interesting. I have it on in the background right now, so I'm glad the Xfinity series is doing well. That is my views on just what I think right now of the Texas race. Right now we're at 12 minutes. I know I didn't really go into that much detail based on like track speed and all that, but you guys know how I operate. I'm mainly just look towards like low owned guys and things of that nature. I'm going to go on a small little tangent right here for qualifying, since I know everyone loved the qualifying session on Friday. I mean, I'm trying not to curse, but let's be honest, guys. That was that was bad. I don't like that, actually. Hold on. Okay, I'm just going to bleep that out because I don't like the word that I used there. I'm trying to get away from those types of words. So all that'll just be horribly like muted or something there. But anyway, like I mean that was fucking stupid, guys. That was terrible. Like that. First off, the Gen 6 car is the reason why everything has gone to crap. I mean, we need to get rid of that front splitter, and we can't add more downforce to make the racing better. If these idiots would watch IndyCar, if they knew anything, I don't get how people this smart can design a car this stupid. Like, if you add downforce to the car, the only way to get a fast lap is in the draft, and what happens in the draft is you have to run single file. Like, you can't race with a high downforce car if you like. Oh my lord, man! Bring back the Gen 4 body with a COT level of safety, and you have it. That is what you need. What is so hard about that? And people are like, "Well, the Gen 4 was ugly." Like, dude, are you kidding me? Those are the sexiest looking cars ever. The 2003. Cup cars, they're beautiful. I don't care who we are. Those are so cool looking, man. They're so cool looking. But I mean, that qualifying was terrible. And we can't do heat races because there's not enough incentive to race unless you're sending people home. And you can't send people home with the stupid charter. So unless you open the field up to more cars than 40, we can't run heat races. The charter system just completely screwed the option of heat races or go homers, because now stupid NASCAR locked the top guys in there. NASCAR should have always been everyone every week has a chance to go home. You race it on speed or top 35 in ownership points. That's what I believe would fix racing, at least in the cup level. But you can't do that anymore. I mean, this package is just stupid. And I've been saying that for years, guys. Like, what else? I say bring back single car qualifying. If you watch the truck race, that went fine. It took like 30 minutes. Everyone knew where they are. Then don't do multiple rounds. Just do one round of qualifying. Show up with what you got. Be proud of how fast you are. And if you're not fast, work on it. Like, that's the best way to give the crew members and people like that an option to like look good. Give yourselves pride. Show up with a good car. End up on the pole. There used to be pride, and you used to be happy when you got on the pole. Now, if you get on the pole like Jimmie Johnson, I mean, dude, he drafted to get on the pole. The pole is still a pole, but the 48, I don't know, like, they're just messing all this stuff up. And little did I know that I'd be listening to the biggest controversy. Like, I was on NASCAR.com, and if you guys don't know, you can listen to the drivers on there. You can scan the radio. And I was like, I'm just going to listen to Clint Boyer this whole thing, because he's entertaining as hell to listen to. And, man, I mean, look at my Twitter. I just posted anything that I heard on his channel that was interesting, and that was hilarious to listen to, because this whole asinine style of group qualifying, I've been saying it's stupid for years now, but I mean, this just shows why it's stupid. And I say they should have penalized Ryan Newman for doing that, because at the angle that Boyer was coming out of, Boyer intended to follow him. I was listening to him. As Ryan was pulling out, Boyer was like, okay, I'm going to follow him. And so he wasn't lined up to pass him or anything. He wasn't getting ready. He was going to follow Newman out. And Newman just screwed him, and that was absolutely horrible. So there's that. Thank you guys so much for listening. If you're still here, please feel free to donate into the PayPal. Give me feedback, guys. Let me know what you think of these videos. I know a lot of you guys listen. My view to like ratio is really great. My like to dislike ratio is really great. So please let me know what else you guys want to hear. And please, I'm most of the time I'm on here, I got to respond to one guy from the Xfinity Series race right now, because I've just been working like crazy to get all this stuff done before the iRacing race tonight. But guys, just let me know what you think. Thank you for tuning in. If you are new, if you are returning, thank you for coming and supporting the show. And tweet at me if you have any questions. Check out my article on Burnout Avenue. Follow them on Twitter. Follow me on Twitter, and you guys have a fantastic Sunday. I am so glad I got this done early. I hate doing this at freaking midnight on Saturday or Sunday morning at 1 a.m. So thank you guys, and see you next time.